Welcome to this edition of Eyes on Naperville. Here's your host, Kevin Dolan.
Welcome to Eyes on Naperville. You know, over the 20 years that I've been bringing this show, with the help of NCTV, of course, I've brought people that are movers and shakers in Naperville, people that have something to do with this great city. It doesn't just happen. There's people behind everything that happens here. Rib Fest and Last Fling and all of the events and things like two of the people I'm going to talk about today, the wonderful Humane Society we have. And you think of the library and the school district. There are important people behind all of these things. And I feel it's my job to make sure everybody knows who's doing it. So with that today, I will happy to introduce Gail Diedrichson, who's on my right, who just chaired a recent fundraiser for the Humane Society, and Candy Knippenberg, who is probably on the board as well.
Not on the board anymore.
Okay, not on the board, but one of the founders. A little young to be a founder. Here I am, founder of the West Suburban Irish. And I'm 76.
She was on our projects committee.
Yeah, there are young founders in town. I'll have to keep that in town. I have to keep that in mind. But that Naperville Humane Society, wonderful organization, and our club, the Exchange Club, likes to remember them too, because where would we be without them? My word. So let's talk a little bit about the fundraiser. I'll bet you all of the people that walk dogs on the Riverwalk, which is hundreds, if not more, have seen that, because most of the people probably park in front of the Park District office and take off from there. So they see the sculpture. Many people do. Right there.
And even if they're not parked there, they're walking the entire Riverwalk.
Yeah.
They love to walk by Centennial Beach, and there's our sculpture.
I would imagine they appreciate. Do they appreciate the cat on top of the dog?
I think they do, because the sculpture is called Best Friends. And of course, many cats and dogs end up living together in a home, so they are friends.
Really?
And, yeah, and Artis and Cleo, the ladies who we are actually honoring on the plaque and with the entire event, who were the actual founders, they are good friends as well. Okay. And plus, we look at the camaraderie of all the volunteers at the Humane Society as being friends, not to mention the fact that we feel as if the community has really opened themselves up to us as our friends as well. Without the community support, the Humane Society wouldn't exist.
And one thing I think I'd probably add to that, and correct me if I'm not, if I'm mistaken, but that includes volunteers from Naperville too, right?
Oh, correct, correct.
This is Volunteer City, USA.
Yes, and we have many volunteers, many.
Well, in the very beginning, we were 100% volunteers.
Really?
Yes.
Right.
Operating a whole Humane Society with volunteers. Was there a facility in the beginning?
No, that took about 8 years of fundraising.
Where did you keep dogs that the people would give you?
Our homes.
Oh my God.
Foster homes.
Foster homes.
And we still use foster homes now for our special needs, and right now we have 22 puppies in a foster home situation, ready to come to the shelter to be adopted.
All right. Where do these come from? Does every city have a Naperville? Does every city have a Humane Society?
Not necessarily. I answered the call when I saw the ad in the Naperville Sun that Artis McCallion had put in. And it truly was the Naperville Sun who started giving publicity. And with publicity, we were able to get people together. And then we created fundraising events. And then we started raising money and realized we needed a shelter because our foster homes were few and far between. And so if it weren't for the publicity to get the people knowing where the dogs and cats were to go to adopt them, we would not be where we are today.
I know a little about that, Candy, about the help. It's amazing how NCTV is helpful in that respect, and the Sun newspaper in that respect, helping things to grow.
The Naperville Sun probably was delivered to 85% of our homes. And so Harold and Eva White would always leave room for a pet of the week. Oh. Well, that was a kiss of luck. Yeah. If you got your face in the Naperville Sun, within 24 to 48 hours, you were adopted. I mean, they were a godsend, yes.
Any kind of dog or cat?
Or cat, dog or cat. and they would come to our houses because we didn't have a shelter, and they would take a picture. The one time I had 5 puppies. They were going to be giant dogs, they're Bouvier Flandre mixes, and they were in the paper, and within 2 days, I had all but one adopted, and I kept the big one, Huxley.
Let me ask you this. Now, I know that my sister, besides dogs and cats, I don't remember all the parameters, but they had some horses too.
We had a bird for a day, and we had a guinea pig until my family found out about it. So then we brought the guinea pig home.
I was going to ask you, what was the most unusual animal?
Yes, right.
Guinea pig.
Yeah.
And that went too? Somebody picked it up, and you did?
Came to our house, and so we had dogs and the guinea pig.
Where was the facility in the beginning?
Where it is right now.
Okay.
Because we were incorporated in 1979, and then we raised monies, and in 1988 we broke ground and moved into the shelter. So until then, those 9 years, we were in our homes.
Well, let's tell our audience exactly where it's up off West Deal.
The corner of Deal and Wall Street, 3 blocks east of 59 on Deal.
East of 59. All right, fine. How many animals would there be now, approximately?
Well, last week we have 18 kennels, and I think we've got 19 dogs. And then we've got, I don't know how many cats. We might have 40 cats, and that includes the kittens in our kitten room.
But no guinea pigs?
Not now.
They're gone?
They're gone.
But nothing strange over the year, like a giraffe or something, no, a wolf. How about a wolf that somebody had, or a coyote that somebody captured
Not
in the
to
backyard?
my knowledge.
They couldn't bring it to the Naperville Humane Society,
No,
could
and
they?
if they bring in a big boa constrictor, I'm out the back door.
Now, what exactly is the facility that's behind the Naperville Police Department? I know there's...
Animal control.
Animal control.
Yes, and they're wonderful.
Now, can they make their way from the Animal Control Center to the Humane Society?
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. In fact, that's often what happens. If there's a stray animal that's found, and they will do their best to find the owner. They will see if it's been microchipped or if it's got a collar or whatever. And the length of stay is 5 to 7 days, and then they will bring it out to the shelter very often.
Do you enjoy having people, and especially families with little kids, coming out to the center?
Oh, absolutely.
You do.
Absolutely.
You encourage it. So that's good. We got the address in.
Oh, we have an education program.
Okay.
And in fact, they have birthday parties out there. They have summer camp programs for the kids. So kids are out there all the time.
So it's very conducive to good feelings and so on. You know.
Well, when a child sees the bonding between a dad and a dog, or the mom and the cat, that just educates the child as well. And then they grow up to be nice to that family pet, and then they're going to grow up to be nice to their classmates, to their own children in the future. It just is a very nice cycle when they see a good relationship with all creatures.
That's true. And the research does show that kids that grow up with animals, they learn to be humane, more empathetic, more gentle. It's really a way for them to practice parenting skills. And it's good for the kid.
And that's why we do what we do.
That's right.
Why
and
we
let's
give
talk
up our
about the
time.
funding for that. Now, I'd be surprised if you told me that everything comes from fundraisers. There has to be some kind of help from the city or from...
Well, the Exchange Club, for example, helps us.
We see the value, believe me.
Oh, yeah. And we have Harold and Ava White have helped us considerably. We have
the owners of the Naperville Sun Law.
Right, who passed away.
Icons in town.
Who have passed away.
Yeah.
We have people who leave us endowments, leave us money after they pass away, which is wonderful.
But we get no tax money. But we do apply for grants. And so there are grants out there that...
Do you mind if I ask, even at the state level, do you apply for grants?
Yes, at a state level.
Serving on some boards, grant writing is very important, and receiving grants are very important, but many of those are, of course, state and national as well. So we're not going to see any problem with the doors staying open anyway.
I certainly hope not.
Okay, that's good. Well, let's talk a little bit more specific, Gail, about this wonderful little sculpture. Tell me, where did the idea first come about?
Susie Simnick, who was a founding member and I were talking about how nice it would be to honor Cleo Keller and Artis McCallion, the two ladies who turned 90 this year,
wow.
and recognize them now rather than 10 years from now, or you know, at our 45th. And it was going to be our 35th anniversary. Artis and Cleo were both turning 90 at the same time, and we thought now's the time to get this sculpture underway. And it's great because not only does it honor them, but it's in essence a billboard on the Riverwalk for the Humane Society.
Yep, it certainly is. A very good traffic way. Yeah, that's a good place to put a sign.
Exactly.
And tell me how you found Dale Rogers. He's not local, correct?
No, he's not. He's from Massachusetts.
Okay.
He has sculptures in 40 of our states, but he's really well known for his Big Dog project. And he even in his hometown has a huge dog. It looks like it's got to be, you know, like 3 stories of a building. It's absolutely huge. But we wanted something with a cat because, of course, like Candy said, we have many cats out at the shelter. And this sculpture with a cat standing on the dog's back with best friends was perfect. We like the bone that is in the middle of the dog because it gives the kids something to peer through. It makes it interactive for the children. And we really wanted to attract kids because we see ourselves as being an organization that really focuses on education. So that was really perfect. But I happen to be in New Buffalo, Michigan, and they have a dog park there.
Yes,
and
they do.
had
they have my boat there too.
well, they also have this dog,
yes, they do.
the Rusty dog, like our dog, at their dog park. And I saw that and I thought, you know what? I really love that dog. That would be perfect for what we want. But of course, we wanted the cat as well. So I started looking for that artist, assuming that he was from New Buffalo, Michigan. And I found out that he was in Massachusetts, but I was able to contact him, you know, just doing some research, getting on the internet and Googling his, you know, the
Did he do
big
anything up
rusty
at
dog.
New Buffalo?
He does. He has a dog at their dog park.
Well, I'll be darned.
Yeah, it's great, and it's
I
made
know
out
where
of
the dog
corten.
park is. I've
Yeah,
seen that.
it's a nice little dog park. It's made of corten steel, so that after about a year, it kind of self seals, so that it won't rust any further. But it has that nice rusty finish. It works in well with the environment. I thought that Hitchcock Design and Hearst House Landscaping did a fantastic job of blending it into the environment. And they were instrumental in really helping us get that project done. And then when Bram Babowski stepped in with a Century Walk, he caught wind
Boom,
of our
everything
project.
takes off.
Exactly, everything takes
when
off
Bram
when that
adds
guy
his
is
name to something,
exactly.
takes off, yeah.
We were originally going to have the, you know, the dog, and we went to talk to Ray McGurry of the Park District, and he was generous enough to sit down and really give us support, and it was fantastic. We had Dave Schlotterbach, Sharon Murphy, Susie Simnick, and my friend here, Candy, on our committee, and we all kind of explored places to put this sculpture, and we thought this is the perfect place. It's on the way to the beach, the kids will see it, and then when Ray was so open to the idea, we thought this is fantastic. Well, originally it was going to be kind of up on the hill and with a plaque, of course, but once Brand and the Century Walk got involved, boy, it really did take off, and we have the beautiful landscaping and the flowers.
When I first saw it,
it's absolutely beautiful.
I felt so strange about it. It looked neat. But a cat and a dog together. Now, it just so happens that my son, our son Johnny, and his lovely wife Erin have a beautiful dog that we just love to pieces, and a cat, a small cat, and they are diametrically opposed to living in the same house. And they let everybody know all the time. So I'm not used to that. I've never had a dog and a cat at the same time. Matter of fact, I never had a cat, but my wife did. And but anyway, I didn't know that they could get along, that they could coexist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They do, huh?
Oh, they can.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. So people will know that right as they approach the Park District office on the right, as they're going west on the Riverwalk, there is the sculpture. And the ceremony, tell me about the ceremonies.
It was a really nice dedication, and Bran Babowski was our master of ceremonies. He did a phenomenal job. We had Cleo speak, who was being honored, and she did a great job, and she invited everybody to participate. And we had
both ladies there? Both?
No.
Artist could not be there. She lives in Maryland now. However, she was there in spirit, and Susie Simnick had a speech that she had written. So she spoke on Artist McCallion's behalf. Candy spoke and thanked the people that were necessary to thank. And we were just amazed at how well everything came together.
How many people did you have?
Oh, I would say that there were a couple hundred people there.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. And then we crossed the street.
There wasn't that many for Joe Naperville. Wow, almost.
No.
Tom Carroll was one of our speakers.
Joe Naperville?
Right.
Tom Carroll, the president of our of the board. Of
I
the
think it's Joe.
You know, I think Joe Napier was up the street a ways, listening anyway.
He's up where he used to live.
That's right.
His statue.
Yeah.
Well, that's neat. We've got several of those iconic sculptures or statues on Washington Street near the bank. The soldiers from the Second World War.
And the Century Walk just
this town is just full of nostalgia, warm things, warm tributes to people who've made a difference.
Well, that's the
like
wonderful
Mr. Mosier
thing.
and so many wonderful people who made this
The
city
Century
what it
Walk
is.
honors these people that made our town what it is. And historically speaking, we really were happy that the Century Walk approached us and wanted us to join, because it's an honor to say these ladies meant enough, and our organization means enough to be included with all of these people that are so historically significant to our town.
Yeah.
Well, and Brand has a wonderful collection. I mean, we have caricatures, we've got to Dr. Seuss, we've got, oh, I just drew a blank, the captain, the detective.
Oh, Dick Loker.
Dick Loker.
Yes, yes. So
Dick
it's really
Tracy, Dick
fun,
Loker.
and when the kids go through, and if you make a game out of it, they can see, well, where's the dog, where's the caricatures, and our historic.
Well, you got the right people about it. You get Bran Babowski behind you, and that, or even his wife Marianne. She's as big in education as he is into philanthropy and and everything else in town. So you had the right people supporting you. In that respect, I want to do everything I can to make sure that you get supported. Does the Humane Society take donations?
We take donations of money. We take donations in kind. You have dog food, cat food, bleach, cleaning products, because we use those every single day.
Matter of fact, Candy, wasn't there something just last week where you were looking for donations of food, dog food, cat food, things?
Always.
Always. Well, there was a little
toweling.
special push last week. What was the event?
You know what? I don't remember that
well,
because
I don't know if it was the library or our Exchange Club, one, but there was different places where you could donate, you know.
Absolutely, and we are always open. Like if people have a dog that's passed away, we'll get their crates, and then we can pass that on for when their new puppy comes into the house. Then they've got the crate there for the crate training. But we take all kinds of donations, stamps, printing paper, whatever.
Oh, to use internally.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Right. And we can't forget the peanut butter jars.
Peanut butter what?
We were laughing because Cleo Keller was telling everyone to bring their empty peanut butter jars, so I had to mention it as a joke because...
What did they do with them?
Oh, they give them to the dogs in the kennel because the dogs get a little bored. You know, they get several walks a day, but some of these dogs get a little bit anxious. Some of them are young, you know, still puppies. Teenage dogs, I like to call them, and they give them a peanut butter jar with just a little at the bottom, and they like to work at that jar, and it keeps them busy.
I wonder if I'm going to get a handle here pretty quick about, oh yeah, Dolan, the animal guy. Just about a month ago, a month or two ago, I had on people from the Husky shelter. They have it out near Northern Illinois University anyway, DeKalb, near DeKalb. And they have Huskies out there that people, I guess, don't want anymore or somehow, and they can live out there. And
yeah, there are many breed rescues in our area.
Besides Huskies.
Breed specific.
Oh, there's dozens. And we have a wonderful, wonderful relationship. And We've got our kennel manager, Michelle. She's got connection. If we have a dog that comes into our shelter and let's say he or she's been there for 4, 5, 6 months and it hasn't been adopted, they will actually, if it's a husky, they will call Husky Rescue and they will go out because then those people specifically know how to handle that kind of breed. Or if it's a Shar-Pei, they'll know exactly how to handle the needs of a Shar-Pei, and so we will do a trade. We traded out one of our dogs that had been there for quite a while. We got 2 back from them. Those 2 we were able to get adopted out, so we work close in hand with all animal organizations. We just really try to do the best for the animal. We are animal welfare.
Okay, animal welfare. That's a good way to put it. So again, if the animal control center, and those people are out, they have trucks, of course, and they're out on the streets, and they find an animal, they'll bring it back to their own shelter first.
Yes.
And then is there an automatic call to you guys, or?
To us and to other shelters in the area, depending on who can bring them in. But Cindy and Joanne, they've been around for a long time. They're wonderful, wonderful. But they'll do some temperament testing too, to make sure that the dog is going to be a good fit for, you know, whatever shelter.
Do puppies go before grown dogs?
Yes.
If kids are coming out there, wouldn't they more gravitate towards a puppy a little bit more? So that does happen. Is that good or bad? Or?
Well, it's good for the puppy. And, you know, we've got some wonderful older animals. In fact, we have what we call Lizzie's Fund. And Lizzie, your adoption fee is free if you adopt this older animal. And we've got 2 dogs out there right now that are 8 and 10 years old. And they're really nice. They're nice on the leash. And they're going to give you a couple of quality years left. But they all are older. But as far as a cat, kittens are cute, and they're kittens for a short time. We come out to look at a cat. You're going to know a little bit about their personality. And they make wonderful, wonderful pets, even though they may be 2 or 3 years old. But some of the kinks are ironed out.
All right, Candy, how about police dogs? When, now in Naperville, we have policemen here with dogs, canine patrol. Do they have a certain place they go when they retire? I think they stay with the policemen, don't they?
I think so too.
Some do. Yeah.
Right. No, I've never seen that before. Well, you know, Artis McCallion, even though she founded us, she's also responsible for getting the animal control system that we have, because she saw the need, as Naperville grew, the need of stray dogs that you would see. That became a bigger situation, and we needed to have trained people, and not the poor policemen who were dealing with this situation. Then they get a call about a stray dog, so she's implemented the need for animal control.
Okay. I'm going to give you a chance to brag here. How many communities nearby, not larger communities, Aurora, Wheaton, Plainfield, have the same up-to-staff kind of facilities that we have here for dogs? You know, that's be Humane Society and Animal Shelter. Do they all? Well, is that something that's a...
Well, Hinsdale has a very active shelter, Humane Society. And I would say that when we were forming our Humane Society, we looked at Hinsdale Humane Society.
They're the grandfather of the shelters around here.
Well, they're an older community, of course, and been around for a long time.
And West Suburban Humane Society, Artis actually volunteered for West Suburban Humane Society when she first moved here in the 60s, and knew a little bit about animal welfare when she started our organization in Naperville. So she took some of what she learned at West Suburban Humane Society. And what are some, well, there's Adopt in town. And we also have Animal Heartline, although they do not have a facility. They work out of foster homes, and they're located, I believe, more in the Woodridge area.
Okay.
So
well,
we do
and my
have
thanks
quite a
to
few.
those 2 lovely ladies of just hitting their 90th birthday for what they did in starting it.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you for coming on. We now know a little bit more about humane shelters, how they work, and you'll let us know about some fundraisers, and there'll be publicity, of course, on those fundraisers. As
and we need volunteers. Your viewers could certainly come out and help us volunteer. We need people to go into schools. If you have a dog that you'd like to take into schools and read with kids, that would be great. If you
dogs are now used to go in the hospitals?
Yes, yes, they're the dogs.
We have Jan Grillo does a great job. She takes dogs into nursing homes. Terry Hancock is the education person. She runs the birthday parties, takes dogs into schools, and it's a phenomenal organization.
It's now a big deal, and that's very good.
It's a very big deal.
Okay, Gail Diedrichson and Candy Knippenberger, thank you both for coming.
Thank you,
and
Kevin.
I feel that our audience knows a lot more about dogs and cats than they ever did before. So I appreciate it. Thank you both.
Thank you for asking us.
We'll see you next month. Thank you.